How do you get over a girl? Oh no, never try to fix someone. People can only figure things out for themselves or get professional help. I made the mistake of trying to help someone in pain, and all that happened was they brought me to their pain instead of them to my happiness. It's good to listen, but keep your thoughts of what to do to yourself. Also, if it goes wrong from there, they will blame you for it. I would say this: you are in love with the tension of the situation. Have you ever waited to go to a restaurant on a trip or a city you don't live in but you frequent but you heard about because it has great food, and you finally get to go there, and gets so good. It's all you will talk about for weeks and for months, then you go a second time but your enthusiasm for it is basically gone. That is what unfulfilled relationships are. They are built on an illusion of tension that you believed would be so great, and it's all you ever wanted. Reality is, maybe you can find that food/relationship just around the corner. It might be anywhere. There is no point in starving yourself if the restaurant isn't accepting seats. Time is really the best way. Any breakup really. The beginning is always the worst. When you feel like the pain will never go away, you'll never be able to move forward. You go little by little, hour by hour, then day by day. After some time has passed, it gets easier. It's hard as hell to believe this in the beginning, but it does. Then learn from this. Don't be too shy to open up to new people. Let them know you're interested. It might go nowhere and you could get rejected, but at least you will know there was nothing more you could have done. I know it's easier said than done. You really need to force yourself. After getting it out initially and the embarrassment goes away, you'll feel much better. I actually can. I was far more in love with him than I would admit to anyone, least of all myself. He felt the same. When he accidentally knocked up his roommate, it broke me. I couldn't even maintain the friendship. They needed space. And so did I. I don't know how he handled it, but at least he had the roommate/baba mama to focus on. I had nothing. I started with a small network of friends I could talk to about it. They were great. I didn't want to let too many people into my pain. I cried whenever I was on a long drive by myself for about a month. Then I got over that stage of the grief and I was just angry at both of them. After that stage of grief, I went back to living pretty normally, except when certain topics pertaining to him came up. That's where I had to really focus on my wider friendship circles so I didn't feel the void of not having him around. And I wasn't ready for a relationship yet by a long shot. It took about 12 months before I could consider dating again. I wasn't quite ready, but I pushed through it, and that got me to the point where I really was over him enough to be able to honestly say that I have successfully moved on. It's about 2 years now. It still makes me sad to hear about the bad things that happen in his life, like when his missus cheated on him, but I no longer have those thoughts I used to have of what if. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. It was a rough 18 months and I felt so horrible for most of it. It's hard. My only advice is time, and find some good friends who you can really trust for this next season of your life. 2022 is a long way away, but I can trust that your life will be in a good place by then. Kids and devoting 6.5 years to someone that was overly jealous. Me even texting someone to maintain friendships. It left me in the same boat. Best thing that keeps me going is telling myself there might not be anyone here now, but I'm getting prepared for when they are. Devoting myself to finding what my interests are alone. Getting in better shape to feel well when I can go out. Keeping up with current events that aren't tailored to what her interests are. While I find what I like a singular entity, maybe I'll run across people with those same interests. Search for the positive and we might all come across it. Are you into video games? There are fantastic communities out there filled with people. What helped me out during lockdown was playing video games with my friends. It satisfied that social interaction itch for me, and it gave me a nice distraction. As for movies, check out the IMDb Top 250 list. Work your way through the ones you find interesting. Most of them are available on one of the major streaming services. If it really is over, cut all contact immediately. Delete text from Facebook, remove from phonebook. Don't torture yourself by checking that stuff. Every time you do, you will put the healing process back a notch. Do not end up in the awful position where X knows that they can still text you, and you will still offer emotional support. If you end up in that position, said person doesn't have to commit to anything and still gets the best of both worlds. It's like an instant friend zone. You will not enjoy that. This stuff is easier in theory than it is in practice. But you do need to find some way to withdraw from the situation. Ultimately, that will help in focusing your efforts somewhere else, i.e. on a positive new relationship, which is generally the thing that will 100% get you over the breakup. Good luck, sunshine. Step 1. Take some time to wallow in it. Don't try to get over it instantly. It's okay to feel terrible for a bit. Step 2. Pull yourself together and arrange some closure. Become fully functional, fake it to whatever level you need to. Get closure one way or another. Burn all your mementos of them one by one if that's what works for you. Step 3. Get back out there, even though you don't want to. Flirt with someone, go on some dates and do not talk about your ex, or allow yourself to think about them. Focus on this person and what's good and or bad about them. Step 4. Make the conscious effort to open yourself up emotionally to a new person. It's also important to know that perceived loss of opportunity is one of the strongest emotions we can feel. All the what-if thinking is just that. I had it bad for a girl growing up. We had electric attraction, but just never got together. The only time I have and ever will cheat was with her. I found out she had started doing meth and wanted to help her get out of that situation. Teenagers aren't exactly equipped to deal with situations like that. I made it about 3 days. I'll never forget the look she gave me before I kissed her. After a few days it became clear she had no desire to stop using. So I walked away. I dreamed about her at least once a week for the next 7 years. I dated other people. Almost got married. Didn't seem to matter. Couldn't get the feeling that I made a mistake by never giving her a chance over all those years. I didn't even have delusions that if I had stayed we would have ended up together for life. I just couldn't shake the feeling that I had missed something that could have been great. Finally messaged her on Facebook. Felt I had to do something before I lost my mind. We talked for a couple of days. Finally she said something that made me realize I had perceived some of the circumstances back then incorrectly. It made me realize there was no way we could have had a relationship at that time. Was like a weight off my chest. I still dream about her every now and then. Still the same type of dream. Hearing she's close by and feeling an intense need to go see her. Euphoria unlike anything I feel in the real world when I see her smile. Only happens a couple times a year now and I don't have to spend half the day trying to think about anything else. She married one of our classmates after they got pregnant. They've got 2 kids now and he's a lucky guy. I'm glad she ended up with someone good. Time heals all wounds, provided you are productive with it. Focus on yourself. Things that make you happy, things you find interesting, things that make you grow. Don't just fill it mark time. But remember, the reason to do anything is for yourself, not to win someone back or other such nonsense. When you are ready, focus truly on yourself and reflect on the relationship. Were there things you could have handled better? Why didn't it work out? And most importantly, was she actually that great? Hormones can do crazy things to you and later, when the emotions don't run so deep, you can think much more clearly about it. Then, once you are satisfied with yourself, or if nothing else just sure of yourself, you can focus on others. But be selective on who those others are. While everyone is worth it in theory, in practice they often aren't until they have sorted themselves out. So the first couple times it will be rough. You'll have the "oh shit I'm gonna be alone forever" or the "I'll never meet anyone like that again" moments that are really what freak you out. Experience is really the best learning tool. You'll break up with people, be broken up with, and then one day you'll find yourself really internalizing the thought of "well fuck, that sucks, I really liked/loved her, but I'll be okay, it'll be all good, and I'll meet someone else, just gotta do me for a bit and that's totally okay." And you'll find that you really are okay being single, that it's fun and exciting, even. You'll notice that life goes on, and that the things you enjoy and love in the world outside them are still every bit as sweet as you remember, and you'll be okay. Emo, there is no magic fix, nothing you can teach yourself to make it instantly feel better. It'll suck no matter what, but it'll just suck a lot less. As with all things, with age and experience comes wisdom and self-awareness to look at the problem differently. You'll still hurt, it'll suck, and you'll reminisce and occasionally freak out, but the difference is, over time, you'll realize that those experiences are okay and you'll take this problem, that used to feel like it was earth-shattering, and it just won't be that bad. If this makes you feel better, because it feels like it's the end of the world, but it's really not. Your feelings will lie to you and your gut reaction is usually wrong in those situations, until you know what you're dealing with. If there was one thing I would say you could do is just center yourself, and chill out. It sucks, but you'll be fine, and though it doesn't feel like it, everything actually will be okay. Also don't stalk social media. Don't. Delete/block/remove, do whatever you want to do, but don't do it. I've been depressed for 4 exhausting years so far. I still haven't felt happy but am way less depressed. What helped me is go to the gym, find friends to work out with, make goals, start focusing on yourself. Don't use drugs. I still do but you shouldn't. I've used weed as a coping mechanism for years so I'm addicted now and can't quit. Get sunlight. Vitamin D deficiency is correlated with depression. You must get rid of any way you can contact her. Go cold turkey today. This means sentimental photos or nudes, unfortunately. Find someone to consume your time. Or else you'll dwell on the past for too long. Be around your family, especially any close siblings. They are the best primary support group.